today? Do you like fresh air? Then I'm sure you're going to like this company behind the stock that can make you wealthy. As a successful investor, you try to find the stocks of big future companies that will most likely grow significantly. And that's in general stocks for long-term investment, more like 10 to 15 years. And an innovation that I think will grow significantly, increase enormously this upcoming decade, it would be something that many investors and people in general don't have high conviction in, as in electric batteries. And I'm talking about the element hydrogen. Did you get goosebumps out of that? Hydrogen. That's the thing that could make you wealthy. In 2019, it was only about 18,000 hydrogen fuel cells vehicles on the roads all around the world. And if you compare with the electric vehicles that were on the roads in 2010, it was only around 18,000. So about the same amount of hydrogen cars in 2019. But if you compare those two, in 2019, it was up to 7.5 million electric vehicles all around the world on the roads in 2019. And if you look at 2020, it was 10 million. Do you see the opportunity here? Well, voila. And we will now look a little bit more about what kind of energy that this is. What source is it? What can it do? And how is it like economically? Is it even gonna work out? Because we right now know that hydrogen fuel, it costs around $3 to $6 a kilo. And if you compare that, like the distance for 1 kilo of hydrogen, it's around, it depends on what kind of vehicles, but you say around 30 miles. And if you look at 1 kilo of gas, it's around 10 miles. But 1 kilo of gas is way more cheaper. So if it would be the same price for hydrogen as it is in gas, the hydrogen prices must go under $2 a kilo. So it must at least half the price before they can say show us the money to all the investors. But the opportunity is still there. I think it's a great, huge opportunity right now to get in little by little in this investment. And we will see a little bit more about this before I'm talking too much about the stock. We're gonna look more about what kind of energy source this is. And the biggest one in the game with a lot of potential and economic muscles is Plug Power. I would say that Plug Power is this Tesla of hydrogen fuel. And Plug Power are developing green hydrogen fuel. And that is the best one, but right now at the moment only 0.3% of the hydrogen is made out of renewable energy. Right now 56.9% of the hydrogen is made out of fossil fuels and coal, and that is called brown energy, and that is not good for the environment. And we have 8 different categories of hydrogen, and they are divided in 8 different colors: green, turquoise, yellow, blue, purple, gray, white, and brown. Guess which one of them who has the least environmental damage? Don't say blue just because it's your favorite color, even though blue hydrogen is half as bad as brown hydrogen. And yes, brown hydrogen is the worst one. That is hydrogen extracted from fossil fuels, usually coal, using gasification. But the best one from the environment is the one that Plug Power is providing, and that is the beautiful green color. And green is almost synonym with clean energy, fresh air. Plug Power is providing a large-scale zero-carbon green hydrogen. Today, 56.9% of all hydrogen fuel is made of brown fuel. Brown hydrogen fuel is made of fossil fuel and coal. That is bad for the environment, and that's not the future. When you see a company offering hydrogen, look up which kind of hydrogen they are offering. So, green hydrogen is the best alternative, and that is exactly where Plug Power is gonna dominate in the future, I hope. But do you still think that electric batteries is all good and the hydrogen will not succeed? For instance, Europe have decided to put in 1 billion euro for research and innovation projects as a response to the climate crisis and help protect Europe's unique ecosystems and biodiversity. And three big companies is already manufacturing hydrogen cars: Honda, Hyundai, and Toyota. And those companies are from Japan and South Korea. And Toyota is the one that are putting most promises into the future of hydrogen. Asia is leading the way in hydrogen, offering a further boost to fuel cell stocks. And the plans are big. Japan wants at least 200,000 fuel cells vehicles on the road by 2025. That would be a 5,550% gain compared to 2019. And China plans to have 1 million fuel cells vehicle in operations by 2030. Only China wants to have 1 million fuel cells vehicles in 2030. And as I said before, in 2019, in total, only 18,000 operating vehicles in the whole world. This is even more astonishing. South Korea have a target production of 6.2 million fuel cells vehicles by 2040. Also, Korea sees hydrogen-powered generation for the electrical grid, teaming up with another company to help power 53,000 homes. So if you were invested in Plug Power in January, you will probably know about the announcement of the $1.5 billion investment the Korean SK Group made as a joint venture with Plug Power to provide hydrogen fuel cell systems, hydrogen fueling stations, and electrolyzers for the Asian market. That took Plug Power to over $75 a share. Now, during this major correction in tech stocks, it is, in my opinion, a great time to start invest in this big hydrogen player. Now under $30, is still around 1,000% more than a year ago. I would suggest to put in little by little because it's going to be difficult to time this stock. And listen, hydrogen created with renewable sources could supply up to 25% of the world's energy by the year of 2050. But we must see the cost fall down, at least to under $2 per kilo. A key catalyst for fuel cell stocks in recent years has been the steep drop in costs for wind and solar power, which drives the creation of the most desirable form of hydrogen. Costs have come down as the technology gets cheaper and more projects reach economies for scale. But better battery technology could pressure the emerging hydrogen economy, and much more infrastructure must be built before fuel cells are widely adopted. How does a hydrogen fuel cell work? Well, hydrogen fuel cells combine the element in gaseous form with oxygen to create electrical energy. Water is the only byproduct. And unlike batteries, hydrogen fuel cells don't need lengthy periods of recharging, and that's great. That's critical for power stations, for example, as they can go offline for long. But here's the catch. While hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe, it's not very independent. It needs to be stripped from other compounds like water or natural gas. A rainbow of options are available for use in fuel cells, but not all are created equal, with trade offs on cost and environmental impact. Gray hydrogen accounts for most of the hydrogen produced in the US today. It comes from natural gas and releases carbon emissions during production and processing. Less common options include brown hydrogen, which comes from coal, and pink hydrogen, which uses nuclear power to split hydrogen molecules from water. Blue hydrogen is produced the same way as gray hydrogen, but producers capture and store the carbon emissions, making it a greener option. It's still not green enough for most climate activists. Green hydrogen uses solar and wind energy to power the process of extracting hydrogen from water. Because it doesn't release any carbon in the process, it's a gold standard for hydrogen production, and that's where plug power comes in. So I hope you got some information out of this and hopefully give you some stronger conviction in this sector. Wish you all a really pleasant day.